Hello, brothers, and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. The moment you stop caring about what others think is the moment you become truly powerful. Sigma males don't just live by this philosophy. They embody it with every fiber of their being. These men have mastered the art of emotional detachment, not as a defense mechanism, but as a strategy for cutting through life's nonsense with laser precision. Studies show that highly independent individuals experience less stress and higher life satisfaction because, frankly, they don't have time to be weighed down by other people's drama. But don't confuse their indifference with arrogance. It's more like a calculated withdrawal. When a Sigma male stops caring, it's not a loud announcement with fireworks. It's a quiet, almost surgical retreat that leaves people scratching their heads, wondering, wait, did he just completely check out on me? Spoiler alert, yes, he did. This isn't about pettiness or playing hard to get. It's about a mindset that screams, my peace is non-negotiable and I won't apologize for it. And honestly, it's a little terrifying to witness because when they stop caring, it's not a phase, it's a permanent state of you're not my problem anymore. Okay, number one, they don't adjust their life to accommodate you. When a Sigma male stops caring, one of the most noticeable changes is how seamlessly he stops factoring you into his decisions. It's not an act of rebellion or bitterness. It's simply that you no longer carry weight in his mental equation. Where once he might have adjusted his plans to accommodate you, rearranged his time to make things work, or even sacrificed his priorities to support yours, all of that disappears without warning. You go from being a consideration to an afterthought, and eventually you're just not part of the thought process at all. This isn't because he's cold or cruel, it's because he values his energy too much to waste it on someone who no longer aligns with his purpose. If you've been removed from his inner circle, you're effectively erased from his reality. He won't consult you, he won't ask for your opinion, and he certainly won't hold back his decisions for your benefit. In his world, everything moves forward, whether you're part of it or not. What makes this so impactful is that there's no drama in how he does it. It's a quiet detachment, like watching a door slowly close without even realizing you're on the other side of it. And by the time you do realize it, he's already moved on to things that actually matter to him. His priorities become razor sharp, his focus unshakable. You could cry, beg, or even try to pull him back into your orbit, but it wouldn't work. Once you're no longer a priority, you're simply not. It's not personal, it's just the way he operates. If you can't keep up with his standards or respect his boundaries, he won't make space for you. He's too busy building a life that works for him. Number two, they redefine couldn't care less by living it. Sigma males take couldn't care less to a level that's almost an art form. It's not about passive-aggressive ignoring or pretending to be detached to make a point. It's genuine, unshakable indifference. When they say they're done, they're done. No second thoughts, no lingering emotions, no dramatic exits. It's not a strategy to manipulate or make you chase them. It's simply who they are. What sets them apart is their ability to completely disconnect, both mentally and emotionally. They don't replay the scenario in their heads or waste time analyzing what went wrong. They don't dwell or hold grudges because in their minds you've already been filed under irrelevant. This isn't born out of arrogance or hostility, it's born out of their unrelenting focus on what matters. If you're not part of that, you cease to exist in their world. This level of detachment can be unsettling to those on the receiving end. People expect arguments, explanations, or at least some visible sign of frustration. But Sigma males don't give you the satisfaction. They don't look back because for them, the past isn't a place worth visiting. It's like trying to get water from a well that's completely dried up. There's simply nothing there. Their indifference is so authentic that it's almost enviable. While most people struggle with letting go, Sigma males seem to do it effortlessly, like flipping a switch. They aren't playing games, they're just moving forward, one unbothered step at a time. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. They know what and who is worth their energy. And once they've decided something isn't, it's as good as gone. That's not an act, it's their way of life. Number three, they'll let you self-destruct if that's your choice. Sigma males have a firm philosophy. Your life, your responsibility. If you're hell-bent on self-destruction, they're not going to stand in your way or waste their energy trying to stop you. They're not heartless. They just know the difference between helping someone who genuinely wants change and someone who thrives on chaos. If you fall into the latter category, they'll watch you spiral with the same level of emotional investment as someone flipping through TV channels. Their detachment doesn't stem from cruelty. It's a refusal to carry burdens that don't belong to them. They won't be dragged into your mess, especially if you keep making the same mistakes. In their eyes, offering help to someone who isn't ready to change is like throwing a lifeline to someone who insists on staying underwater. Why bother? They'd rather invest their time and energy into their own growth than endlessly rescue someone who refuses to save themselves. This can be a hard pill to swallow for people who expect unconditional support, especially if they're used to enablers. A Sigma male won't coddle, won't chase, and certainly won't offer endless "you'll get through this" pep talks. Their response is clear. You're in control of your life. Fix it yourself or don't. But don't expect me to babysit your decisions. It's not about indifference to suffering, it's about boundaries. Sigma males understand that everyone has to take ownership of their choices. If you're committed to your own destruction, they're committed to stepping back. It's not their job to stop you from falling, and they're not going to set themselves on fire to keep you warm. For them, the message is simple. Your choices are yours. I've got my own life to handle. Number 4, they stop sharing their mind with you. When a Sigma male stops sharing his mind with you, it's not just a shift, it's a closing of the vault. These men are naturally selective about who gets access to their inner thoughts, and if you were once privileged enough to be part of that circle, losing it is no small thing. Sigma males value their mental space above all else, and when they decide you're no longer worth that space, they'll cut off your access, like it was never there to begin with. Their thoughts are their power, their strategy, their clarity, and they don't waste that energy on people who no longer serve a meaningful purpose in their lives. They'll stop sharing their ideas, their plans, and even those small, seemingly random insights that made you feel like you understood them on a deeper level. Suddenly there's a wall where there used to be an open door, and no matter how hard you knock, they won't answer. What's striking about this is how deliberate it is. It's not done in anger or out of spite. It's just a logical decision in their minds. If you're not aligned with their values, or you've shown that you don't appreciate their depth, why should they waste time opening up? They'd rather keep their mind to themselves than share it with someone who doesn't respect or understand its worth. This withdrawal can feel cold, but for them it's just efficiency. They're not going to explain, argue, or try to patch things up. They simply stop letting you in. And once you're locked out, that's it. Their inner world isn't a revolving door, it's a fortress, and once you've been removed, there's no invitation back. And number 5, they ghost without any guilt or second thoughts. When a Sigma male ghosts, it's not some calculated power move or an attempt to make you miss them. It's as effortless as flipping a switch. They're not the type to agonize over their decision or wonder how you'll feel about it. If they've decided you no longer bring value or alignment to their life, they'll vanish without hesitation, guilt, or second guessing. And when they do, they leave no breadcrumbs, no explanations, no cryptic messages. It's a clean exit, the kind that feels surgical in its precision. This isn't born out of malice or the need to prove a point. It's just how they operate. To a Sigma male, holding on to unnecessary connections is dead weight. They don't see the point in staying tethered to someone who's either draining their energy or no longer relevant to their journey. And while most people wrestle with the social guilt of cutting ties, Sigma males don't subscribe to that kind of emotional labor. They believe in protecting their peace. And if that means disappearing, so be it. What makes this even more unnerving is how seamlessly they do it. There's no drama, no grand declarations, no farewell speeches. One day they're there and the next they're gone. No lingering texts, no watching your Instagram stories, no half-hearted attempts to stay friends. They cut the cord completely, as if the relationship never existed. This level of detachment is both their strength and their mystery. It's not about being heartless, it's about being intentional. In their world, not every connection deserves an explanation or a goodbye. If you've lost their respect or relevance, they're gone. And the most chilling part, they won't even think about it twice. For them, moving on is just another step forward. Number 6, they refuse to react, even when provoked. When a Sigma male decides you're not worth his energy, there's nothing you can do to crack his composure. Insults? He shrugs them off like lint on his sleeve. Drama? He treats it like background noise he's already tuned out. Guilt trips? You might as well be trying to guilt a stone. It's not that he's being dismissive just to frustrate you. He genuinely doesn't care enough to react. Provoking a Sigma male is like trying to start a fire in a rainstorm. It's pointless. He understands that a reaction, even a negative one, gives you power over him, and he's not about to hand that over. His silence is calculated, not passive. By refusing to engage, he's making it clear that whatever you're throwing at him isn't worth a sliver of his attention. It's infuriating to some, but for him, it's a masterclass in emotional self-control. The harder you push, the more obvious it becomes that you're fighting a one-sided battle. While most people would crack under the weight of constant provocation, he remains unmoved, almost like he's immune to the chaos around him. And the truth is, he is. Sigma males have trained themselves to detach from situations that don't serve them. They see reacting as wasted energy they'd rather invest in their goals or their peace of mind. The irony is, the more someone tries to get a rise out of him, the more they expose their own desperation. And that's when it becomes painfully clear. The Sigma male isn't ignoring you out of spite. He's ignoring you because in his world, you no longer exist. To him, engaging would mean giving you relevance. And once he's decided you're not worth it, that's a currency he refuses to spend. Number 7, they operate on out of sight, out of mind. Sigma males don't just move on, they mentally erase. When someone or something no longer serves a purpose in their life, it's as though it evaporates from their consciousness. There's no lingering resentment, no dramatic mental tug-of-war, and certainly no revisiting the past just to stew over it. To them, holding on to irrelevant people or situations is like carrying dead weight. It slows them down, so they simply drop it and keep moving. What's striking about this is the complete lack of emotional residue. They don't hate or resent you because, frankly, you're not worth the energy. Hate still requires thought, and a Sigma male doesn't waste even a second of his mental space on something that's no longer significant. It's like deleting an old email you didn't care enough to read. One click, gone, and forgotten almost immediately after. This indifference can feel unsettling to people who expect some kind of reaction, but the truth is, a Sigma male values his peace too much to let anything irrelevant occupy his mind. It's not that he's heartless, he's just efficient. If you've been relegated to the out of sight, out of mind category, it's because he's already mentally categorized you as a closed chapter. There's no bitterness, no what-ifs, just silence. While most people struggle with letting go, overthinking every detail, a Sigma male treats it like a one-and-done task. Once he's decided something or someone doesn't matter, it's as though it never existed. And the best part, he doesn't even look back to see what he left behind. To him, the past is like a box of old files, archived, irrelevant, and destined to collect dust. Number 8, they don't celebrate your wins or mourn your losses. When a Sigma male checks out emotionally, it's game over. Your wins, your losses, your ups, your downs, they all become background noise in his world. It's not that he's intentionally ignoring you to prove a point. He's simply no longer invested. To him, you're like a TV channel he's already switched away from. Whatever's playing now doesn't concern him. He doesn't celebrate your wins, not because he's bitter, but because they're irrelevant to his journey. If you've been removed from his inner circle, your success is just another random event in the universe, no different from a stranger landing a new job. And as for your struggles, don't expect sympathy. He's not going to shed a tear or offer a shoulder to lean on because he's decided your emotional weight is no longer his to carry. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. This level of detachment is rooted in his belief that relationships require mutual value. Once that value is gone, so is his connection. He's not here to fake enthusiasm or pretend to care when he genuinely doesn't. For a Sigma male, emotional investment is a privilege, not an obligation. And when he's withdrawn it, he does so completely. What makes this so striking is how calm and matter-of-fact it is. There's no malice, no grudges, just absence. He doesn't harbor ill will. He simply doesn't think about you at all. In his mind, your wins and losses are your business, and he's moved on to focus on his own. It's not personal, it's just the way he operates. Once you're off his emotional radar, there's no turning the signal back on. Number 9, they outgrow situations like it's second nature. For a Sigma male, growth isn't optional. It's a constant, unstoppable force. It's not something they try to achieve or set out to do. It's just who they are. They're always evolving, refining their goals, and pushing the limits of what they can accomplish. And if you're no longer aligned with their trajectory, well, it's not even a tough decision. They'll simply leave you behind. There's no emotional drama, no bitter goodbyes, just the natural progression of their path. Their evolution isn't about distancing themselves out of spite, it's about staying true to their own development. If you're stuck in the past, holding on to outdated values or behaviors, they won't waste time trying to drag you along. They won't look back to see if you're keeping up. They'll just keep moving forward at their own pace. Their growth is their priority, and they expect nothing less than progress at all times. This is why, if you're a part of their life but no longer serving their growth, you'll start to feel the distance without ever understanding why it happened. The Sigma male doesn't need to explain. He won't engage in lengthy discussions about how you've drifted apart. The gap will widen naturally as they keep moving toward their goals and ideals, while you stay where you are, unaware of the quiet evolution happening in real time. It's not personal, it's just who they are. They'll outgrow the situation, the relationship, the job, the friendship, whatever it is, because they refuse to settle. To them, stagnation isn't an option. And if you're not on the same growth trajectory, they'll just leave you behind without a second thought. For them, it's not abandonment. It's evolution in motion. Number 10, they don't retaliate, they simply disengage. Retaliation isn't in the Sigma male's playbook. They're not the type to get caught up in petty squabbles or waste energy seeking revenge. Instead, when someone crosses a line or disrespects them, their response is chilling in its simplicity. They disengage. There's no fiery confrontation, no angry words or dramatic exits. They just quietly fade out of the picture. This isn't out of fear or weakness. It's a deliberate, controlled decision. The idea of wasting time engaging with someone who no longer deserves their attention is laughable to them. Why waste energy fighting a battle they've already decided isn't worth winning? Instead of feeding into negativity, they simply step away, leaving the other person in a state of confusion. The absence is more powerful than any retaliation could ever be. By refusing to retaliate, the Sigma male takes control of the situation in a way that no angry outburst or vengeful act ever could. It's the ultimate power move. They don't need to react because they've already removed you from their life, and with it, any power you might have had over them. You may never get that closure, that apology, or even the chance to make things right, and that's the point. For the Sigma male, that's the ultimate silent victory. In the end, they don't need to get the last word or have the final showdown. They know the real power lies in disengaging and moving on. And while others might stew in their anger or frustration, the Sigma male walks away knowing full well that their silence speaks louder than any retaliation ever could. In the end, Sigma males redefine what it means to be emotionally detached and unbothered. It's not about being cold or indifferent, it's about choosing where to direct their energy, and they don't waste it on anything that doesn't serve their personal growth or peace of mind. Their actions aren't motivated by anger or malice, but by a profound understanding of what matters and what doesn't. They don't need to prove anything, seek validation, or hold grudges. If you're no longer aligned with their journey, they simply let go, no drama, no second thoughts. It's a silent strength, a quiet power that leaves people wondering how they do it, how they remain so calm, so composed, so utterly unfazed. But it's not magic, it's just the result of knowing their own worth and refusing to waste time on what doesn't contribute to their life's mission. Their world doesn't revolve around petty conflicts or emotional entanglements. It revolves around progress, growth, and maintaining the freedom to move through life without being weighed down. So the next time you're wondering why a Sigma male hasn't reacted to your actions, remember this. It's not that they don't care. It's that they're way too busy caring about their own journey to care about yours. They've already moved on, and they're better for it. If you found yourself nodding along, intrigued by the quiet power and effortless detachment of the Sigma male, then don't let this be the last time you dive into this world. Hit that subscribe button and join a community where we explore the art of living life on your own terms, fearless, focused, and always evolving. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, you're in the right place for exceptional content that challenges the norm and keeps you ahead of the curve. So go ahead, subscribe now, and let's keep this journey going. Bye for now and see you in the next video.